Hello, it's great to be with you. Have you ever wondered why people give something up for Lent? Some people go without chocolate, alcohol, candy, sugar in their coffee. Some people give up swearing, social media or television during Lent. A lesser number of people say, I'm not giving something up for Lent, but I'm going to do something for Lent. I'm going to take something on. But when you ask people, so why do you give up something for Lent, or why do you take something on for Lent? Most people have no real or accurate idea why they do. They say things like, I don't know why I do it during Lent. You just do it. It's what I was taught as a child. Well, when you do understand why, it will deeply enrich your life personally and your experience of Lent. Here are 4 reasons we give something up or take something on for Lent. We give something up for Lent as a reminder. A reminder of what? Well, the Catechism, which we might say is a summary document of what Catholics believe, says in the very first line, God, infinitely perfect and blessed in himself, in a plan of sheer goodness, freely created human beings to make them share in his own blessed life. So God made people to be in relationship with him. It was out of an act of sheer goodness. It was freely done. No one forced God to make people. In other words, here is God, and he's perfect. And here is humankind, and they are made holy, which means they can have relationship with God. But human beings reject God's order and his way of doing things. This is the story of Adam and Eve, who are representatives of all of humanity in the Garden of Eden. They reject God and his ways and do what they want to do. This is called original sin. What did original sin do? It severs, it cuts off relationship with God, and its ultimate effect is our spiritual death, because we cannot live apart from God. We were made to share in God's life. That's where we are ultimately happy. You all know that feeling of being unfulfilled, of unsettled, when your relationship with God is not right. People who don't know it is spiritual search their whole life in many different ways to fulfill what is missing in their life, because they were made to share in God's blessed life, even if they don't know it. This rejection of God's will and ways cause people to lose their holiness, where they can have a relationship with God. And so they fall away from being able to have a relationship with God and be in relationship with God to that place where they cannot get back to God by their own efforts. No matter how hard they try, human beings cannot restore their relationship with God. So God the Father, however, doesn't give up on people. His great plan of fixing up what has happened is God the Father sends his Son Jesus to do the one thing that you and I cannot do. And this is overcome death, which is separation from God. Jesus pays the penalty for our rejection of God once and for all, and for every human person by dying himself on Good Friday and then rising to new life on Easter Sunday. These are the greatest events in human history. We are forgiven. We are restored. We are saved from being banished. In other words, you are forgiven. You are restored. You are saved from being banished. This is what is called salvation. In Jesus' death, the penalty for sin or rejecting God is paid in full on your behalf. Through Jesus' resurrection, we are elevated, we are restored to being able to be in relationship with God once again. This is the mystery of the Mass, where we remember and celebrate his death and resurrection. It's staggering what God has done for you and me. We didn't deserve to be restored to a relationship with God. We were cut off from heaven and eternity forever, and there was nothing we could do about it. God the Father, through his Son Jesus, saves us. Giving something up for Lent acts as a constant reminder through the days of Lent of what God did freely for you and me. It's so easy to forget what God has done. But when you feel that desire for sugar in your coffee, or chocolate, or alcohol, or social media, or candy, or television, if that is what you've given up for Lent, it's a prompt, it's a reminder to say, that's right, I'm in Lent. Look at what God has done for me personally. I'm forgiven, I'm restored, I'm saved. He loves me and made me to share in his own blessed life. The second reason we give something up for Lent or take something on is as a discipline over my flesh. As a discipline over my flesh. St. Paul tells us that there's a battle taking place within each of us between what St. Paul calls the flesh and the spirit. The flesh is that tendency within us to do what we want regardless of God's desire for us, while the spirit which rolls within us is what God wants for us. The battle between the flesh and the spirit rage within us. Can I ask you this question? Do you ever know the right thing to do and you don't do it? You know you should exercise, but you don't. You know you should be mindful and caring of others, but you're selfish. Well, you are not alone. St. Paul had this challenge too. He writes, I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I do. When we give things up for Lent, we in effect take control over the flesh part of us that says, I have to have that. I have to do that. You don't. Whenever you feel the temptation to not do what you should through Lent, use it as a prompt, as a reminder. That's right. I'm in Lent. Look at what God has done for me personally. I'm forgiven. I'm restored. I'm saved. He loves me and made me to share in his blessed life. The third reason we give something up for Lent, it's an opportunity to work at the person God calls me to be now. It's an opportunity to work at the person God calls me to be now. If I was to ask you, are you happy with who you are? Or do you think if you met God today that he would be pleased with you, who you are right now and what you're doing? Lent is the time when you can make changes in your life to be who you want to be right now. For Lent, give up what you don't want in your life. For Lent, give up what you don't want in your life. That bad habit that you don't like. Change during Lent what needs to be changed. Here are some examples of what to give up. You could give up gossip, being judgmental, being jealous of others, worrying about what you look like, thinking negatively about yourself, being lazy, eating the wrong food. Here are some examples of what you might want to take on. Exercise, thinking positively, giving to the poor, spending more time in prayer, coming to Mass during the week. Give up the very thing you don't want in your life and take on what you want to become who God wants you to be this Lent. And whenever you do these things, remember, use it as a prompt, as a reminder. That's right, I'm in Lent. Look at what God has done for me personally. I'm forgiven, I'm restored, I'm saved. He loves me and made me to share in his blessed life. The fourth reason we give something up for Lent is that it's an opportunity to lay my life down for others. It's an opportunity to lay my life down for others. During Lent, don't be selfish, but lay down your life for others like Jesus did. So at home, at work, among friends, do the dishes, make the bed, take out the trash, send an encouraging note to members of your family or to friends during Lent. Say something like, I was thinking of you recently and the fine person that you are. I'm so impressed by you. I love you. Send a gift to someone for no other reason than it will bless them. Serve the poor. Visit an elderly person. Spend time with someone who's lonely. Be the person at your office, place of work, to clean up, get coffee for others. Notice someone else and be encouraging, and do it without any need for acknowledgement. And whenever you do these things, use it as a reminder, as a prompt. That's right, I'm in Lent. Look at what God has done for me personally. I'm forgiven, I'm restored, I'm saved, he loves me and made me to share in his blessed life. So give something up for Lent or take something on this Lent and have a reason why you are doing it. As a reminder of what God has done for me, as a discipline over my flesh, as an opportunity to work at the person God calls me to be now, an opportunity to lay down my life for others. We have covered a lot. I would encourage you to watch this video again and decide what you'll do this Lent. I'm looking forward to doing Lent 2024 with you, and in the meantime, don't forget, God is never far from you.